Hi there, boys and girls, and we're going to do something a bit different today. I'm going to be doing my thoughts on the Tesla Cybertruck. Hopefully I won't get flagged for copyright for this video footage. This is a replay of the actual stream of the actual event. It's been posted everywhere, and I'm pretty sure that most of you guys have seen this multiple actual times. I've had a bit of time to actually stew over it. So this is my thoughts and feeling after about 2 weeks after the event. I've had a time to actually think about it. A lot of you guys have had feelings about what you saw and what you felt while actually watching this. Tesla being Tesla, it was an interesting, I have to say. So you're either in two camps about this thing. You either love it or you hate it, or you come around to it. Especially when they revealed it. I was sitting there with my wife watching it, and I went, "What the hell is this?" It was very polarizing. Elon did mention that it was going to be you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. And I think that they went all out there. The interesting thing is it seems like Tesla has made an actual truck for non-truck people, and it's not going to be a truck that it's going to convince your standard truck people to actually buy, to actually switch over. So those guys who buy their Ford trucks, their BT50s, their Amaroks, this is not going to convince them to buy an actual truck. So you're going to switch over. This was a weird virtual reality thing that they did. I wasn't too sure where they're going with this.
November 2019. The skies are polluted. The world is addicted to
Very Blade Runner-ish, and is what Elon did promise us.
the number one mode of transport for Cybertruck.
So, in terms of the actual truck,
In vehicular fashion,
I was very surprised to see that the biggest selling point of the actual truck was the price. And that was the least I was thing that I was expecting, because normally with actual Tesla events, they would throw out a whole bunch of stats, a whole bunch of specs, the reasons why the vehicle was safer, it was faster, it was stronger, technology more advanced than the actual competition. In this case, they went through all that, but the thing that caught everyone else was the price and the actual design. So the thing with Elon is he's also a very nervous actual presenter. It's kind of like my spirit animal, really. I, I do believe that people like Elon should exist in every single generation. They actually push the actual envelope. They create change in the actual world. I don't really agree with everything that he actually says. He's an actual genius in his own right, but personality-wise, he does say things and does things a bit weird sometimes, and he can be rather antagonizing sometimes, but you can't deny the fact that he is the visionary of our time. So yeah, so it's interesting how they actually put the actual trucks there, and the shape of actual trucks haven't actually changed. That's probably one of the actual selling point of actual trucks, because when you actually buy an actual truck, you know what you actually want. People who actually buy trucks have been buying it for generations. But I do believe that they had to actually make something a bit more controversial, because if they're going to revolutionize the actual industry, then they're going to go all out there. So the actual Cybertruck the actual design is like 10 years away ahead of its time. It's going to be iconic, like for DeLorean. People are talking about that 30 years actual later. So obviously this came out and I was going, what the hell? I instantly did not like this. I was like, it looks like a unrendered, low polygon actual model from a video game from the early 80s, early 90s. There was jokes online saying that the textures hadn't refreshed. So yeah, it's very Blade Runner-ish. In terms of the design, the angular actual sides of the actual car itself, it's not gonna be very aerodynamic. So Tesla vehicles have always been famous for being very aerodynamic in the design. So low efficiencies of the actual drag. With the angular actual design, you're gonna get very bad aerodynamics, especially with the actual angles. So that arch actual roof, the airflow is going to flow off that actual angle, and it's going to create an area of actual low pressure beyond that actual arch point. So you're going to need a big, massive actual battery to actually drive it to the actual range that you need to. Yeah, I like how to point out that it's very much like the actual Nighthawk, the yeah, the actual stealth fighter in National Pass. Also with the actual design, because it's rolled stainless steel, and with the actual angles, in terms of assembly, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very simple, the actual design. So all they're doing is folding actual stainless steel, and obviously stainless steel is a lot cheaper than aluminium, titanium, the actual materials that they were using in their previous actual vehicles. So obviously, so in terms of the assembly line, they don't have to have complicated assembly lines. Like you can basically build the actual product, but that's bending. So as long as you have an actual so like you don't have to like stamp the actual like material. Also with an exoskeleton, like you don't have to worry like about the actual frame on that and actual bed design. So the assembly line is going to be a lot more simpler, and because it's stainless steel, it doesn't rust, it doesn't tarnish. It's designed to last like longer than the actual like owner of the actual car. The only thing with stainless steel is it fingerprints like crazy. So make sure that you have a microfiber actual cloth in hand, and also if you've got dents or bits of actual like tarnish, you could probably sand that off. The thing that I'm worried about is because of the actual angles, I can't see a defined crumple zone for the actual vehicle. So I'm not sure how this is going to pass safety testing. So when you crash test like an actual vehicle, you have to show that there's actual definable crumple zones, ways in which they can actually, the car can absorb the kinetic energy of the actual crash to protect the actual occupants inside, and also whatever object that is actually hit. So whether it's an animal or a person, it's all about like transfer of actual energy. It's all physics. So obviously this famous bit here, some people actually believe that when actual Hans actually hit the actual door, he may have chipped one of the actual like windows at the actual end, and obviously when they threw that steel ball at the actual windows, that's why it's actually cracked. But or it's just bad luck in their case. But they did release that actual video that behind the scenes, in which they threw the actual like balls at the actual like the windows. And the reason why I mentioned the actual design and the actual comfort zones, because Tesla has always been famous for demonstrating safety for the actual vehicles. So you can see that the actual car is very strong, but the thing I'm concerned about with as an actual person who's going to buy this car is Tesla isn't famous for their servicing and their repairing of a vehicle. So but they've been behind the actual eight ball in terms of satisfying the actual customer in that aspect. And if you're going to be have something like stainless steel, so stainless steel, and especially when it's folded like that, how are you going to repair this thing? Stainless steel, you can hire panel beaters to actually speed out the actual dents, or if you're involved in an actual crash. But most cars, because it's designed to replace or to remove the actual like panels, like you can easily actually replace the actual panels. But because these are actually like folded pieces of actual stainless steel, you're either going to replace like multiple actual parts of like large parts of the actual car. And I'm assuming a lot of shops out there aren't specialized in actually repairing actual stainless steel. As a truck, I don't think tradies will actually go for this, especially with actual the loading actual tray at the actual back. You can't load actual like loads from the actual side, given the actual angle of the actual roof. I was thinking through my head, it's like there's got to be like an actual like third party like attachment, or Tesla's gonna release one, because you're gonna be loading things on it. You're gonna be loading ladders. So that's why I'm thinking this is a truck designed for non-truck people and not for actual like tradies. In Australia, we have tradies galore. So this is we're coming up to the magic portion of the actual presentation. So they're demonstrating the actual Tesla glass. So I don't know why they didn't just stop here, because they've actually already proven the actual point with the actual glass. He dropped a ball, he went up higher, and he dropped the actual ball again. But they had nothing to actually gain by throwing those balls at the actual Tesla truck. It's high risk with very little. Yeah, there's in terms of potential benefits, but they want to get. And obviously, when they threw that ball at the window, and when they repeated it again, and the truck was on stage for an extra 20 minutes in view, it was live, and everyone heard that like Elon was swearing underneath his yeah, he was swearing when he realized that wasn't supposed to actually happen. But it did give this event a lot of publicity. So everyone's talking about this. 2 weeks later, everyone is still talking about it. So yeah, so obviously we got yeah, its lead designer. I'm not sure why they did this. Did they rehearse this at all? I have no idea. So oh, it gets me every time. Yeah, moving a little bit too hard. So in terms of the, like the wheel arches or angular, those 35-inch actual tires. So there has been a bit of research on those actual tires, and apparently they're really expensive. They're just under 500 US dollars a tire. So that's like 2,000 like US to replace the tires for not. That's not even actually fitting them on. There's a snoozer on the actual Tesla motors for him, and he's had ton of bit of research on the tires itself, and you can source it. That might change. This is obviously a rolling prototype of the vehicle.
In addition, the car has an adaptive.
So air suspension, that's pretty cool. But so it automatically raises the actual height of the car depending on the situation. So if you're going off-roading, so I'm coming from a person who wishes to buy a Tesla within the next year or two. I believe that they, at the moment, in terms of electrical vehicles, they are the leading horse in the actual race. All the other car companies are actually catching up to actual Tesla. So I've realized that the actual revolution is here, and you got to be in it to actually win it. And it's amazing that a startup actual company like this has changed the actual thinking of an entire industry. And there is no longer a debate that its electric drivetrains are here to stay and they are the actual future. It's just a matter of who's going to reach peak audience first. So
the rear is 100 cubic feet, 6.5 foot.
So this truck is apparently massive. I'm not a truck person. Obviously the reservations was $100 US. It's 150 like Australian here. That is peanuts in comparison to when the Model S, the Model X actually launched. You're putting thousands of dollars down to reserve it. At $100 US, a lot of people bit the actual bullet, even if they didn't like the actual design. And most of them, either because they came around to also, or hoping that the actual design will change when this car launches, because obviously this is designed to launch 2 to 3 years down the actual track in Australia, because we're right hand side, small actual population base. We're looking at least a year after that. Like the Model 3 just launched this year in Australia, and unfortunately, with the actual pricing, cars, especially Teslas, I'll get back to that. We'll go back to price. So the actual performance of the actual vehicle is amazing. It's 2.9 seconds. Like you're talking hypercar actual territory. And this thing has got to weigh like a truck. Given the actual range and the size of the vehicle and the fact that it's stainless steel, it is going to be heavy. It is going to be so heavy. They didn't talk specifically about the actual battery in the car, but something that heavy, I'm guessing you're looking at 200 kilowatt hours at least for the max spec. And it's interesting how Elon snuck in. You can charge up to 275 kilowatts, which is faster than the version 3 superchargers. So obviously these ranges here, he snuck it in. So it's either they've come up with new charging or they've implemented new actual battery tech. And I believe that's got to be it, because they bought like Maxwell Technologies, so more than 250 kilowatts.
And it has onboard outlets for 110.
Yeah, and outlets. Obviously, that's going to be amazing. In that case,
you don't need a generator.
Like you could pull up to this work site and you could power like your vehicles.
And as a little plus, because it's got an air suspension, we can tap off the air suspension, so you have a.
So air compressors, like imagine taking that to camping. I'm thinking through my head, because I'm not an actual tradie, but as an off-roading vehicle and as a camping vehicle, this has piqued my interest in this car. the unfortunate thing in Australia is Teslas are amazingly expensive. So
But it's
so
gonna,
40,000 like US dollars. When it's going to launch in Australia, it's going to be at least $80,000 to $90,000, and that's with the even the standard range plus Model 3 in Australia. Once you buy the car with once you include on-road costs and actual stamp duty, which is a government actual tax, the base standard range plus in Australia goes on for $72,000 to $75,000, depending on which state you hide in. The performance Model D is $118,000. So Teslas are a lot more expensive in Australia. So even with the base Cybertruck, I'm looking at 80 to 90,000. With the highest spec, I'm looking probably 160. Like a Model S in Australia can reach up to 200,000 Australian dollars. And especially with the higher spec models, we are paying actual luxury car tax on top, which is like another tax on it when you purchase a vehicle. So, but at least we're going to be not as expensive as in New Zealand. So, sorry for the Kiwis out there, but yeah.
So you can order now if you would like.
So, over the last 2 weeks, I've really thought about this. I may actually put an extra deposit down for this because
I should say also,
it may not be. I might not need a truck, but this out camping.
Don't mind the glass.
And if you were gonna like run an actual business,
So, anyway,
can you imagine the actual advertising that you could get in this vehicle? You drive this on the highway, and you'll be turning heads left, right, and center. Imagine like law enforcement driving this this vehicle,
thank you. Oh wait.
and also the famous one more thing. So very Apple-like. Like he did this with the Roadster as well, and the semi truck.
Should we do the? Yeah. We made an. We also made an ATV. So,
I'm really curious about the ATV. I love everything it's electric. So skateboards, scooters, electric bikes. This looks cool. I want one of these. I wonder if you could buy that actual separate. And they didn't actually announce any of the actual like specs. I like how the actual Volt actually slides up, and Elon has mentioned that you could actually put actual solar powers, like solar actual like panels on there, and all folding solar panels. So you can get 15 miles a day to 30 to 40 if the folding actual panels. So imagine this out in a rural area, because I just live in the bush. You have a self-charging vehicle, and it's not like a
this is what I mean by the
Toyota self-charging vehicle.
Yeah, that's
But
correct, by the way.
if you park this outside, you could literally have
Real low.
a
Go high on the
infinite
other side. We
power
switch to
supply.
load mode. So you got load mode. You got a built-in ramp.
I like it.
You got ATV or dirt
I like the actual lights and the actual it's loading extra tray folds out, and you got like a little ramp. You can see that the actual air suspension actually came down, so just how you can actually load it.
Yes. Oh. And it's current.
I wonder how many actual charging
currently
points
plugged in
are
and charging.
at the actual back.
Yeah.
It's 1 or 2. I'm just thinking through my head like how much camping gear that I can to run off this thing.
So you go like real tight on the freeway. And
I
then
love the
very
actual
high
like light bar up
loading.
in front. That's a very cool like design.
All right.
So there we go. For Tesla real. I hope you actually like that. I might throw actual deposit. Okay, so as always, press the like button, leave us a comment or subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Random Geek out. Cheers.